Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Test 8. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can support us by sending stars, help us earn more content. Welcome to another edition of Paranormal True Crimes, brought to you from the UK. We got FDL Paranormal in the house. Introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name's Nikki.
Hello, I'm Nicola.
So we are talking about Nicola Bully.
Yeah.
Somebody very hot and across y'all's radar, I see.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Southwest Show, Yorkshire Paranormal. It's Derek. Hello there. Hi, Luna. Welcome. And we got Crazy Witch coming up in the rear like always. So, yeah, very interesting. A very interesting case when you all brought this across my desk and got me to look at it. I looked at several others and I was like, wow, this is quite interesting. It really is. It's got a lot of attention over there across the pond. And it's got a lot of attention as well globally, I notice, even over here in America. So, where do y'all want to start?
It is crazy. It's like when she went missing, everything just blew up, really. The media, social media blew up. Everybody wanted to be so involved in the case. And it is a tricky one, this one, because obviously we've had the inquest to come out and stuff, and we thought that after that it would die down, like the mass media attention and social media attention, but it hasn't died down. So I think what we can start with, I've got a timeline of events of what happened according to the police, what happened on the morning of her disappearance, if you want to start there.
Yeah, let me pop up the video here and let's share the video with the news channel.
Okay.
And tell me if y'all got the audio on this one here. Let me unmute it. I don't know why it's always muted. And here we go, action.
Got no audio. I can't hear it.
That's what I thought. Stand by. We'll try this again. I always forget to hit the audio button to share audio. So let me stop sharing this. Go back and find our channel here. Share screen. Share system audio. There we go. Now we got it. Now action. Blow this up all the way here.
No, still no audio.
Still no audio?
Really, really, really quiet.
All right. Let me copy the link and put it in another browser. Stand by.
Okay.
Copy this link. And we'll open up another browser here. And we'll paste that one there. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen here. I want y'all to see this news clip here. Now let me get rid of the commercials. All right, now I got it synced up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's try this one more time here.
Third time lucky.
That's right. All right, present arms, share, wave. Let's see here. All right, here we go.
New pictures of Nicola Bulley, who went missing while walking next to a river in Lancashire, have been released, showing her on the morning of her disappearance. Police have said their assumption is that she fell into the river, and today many members of the local community joined the search to try and find her. A key witness who was pushing a pram near where Ms. Bulley disappeared 9 days ago has come forward. Here's Danny Savage.
This is Nicola Bulley leaving home on the day she vanished, setting off on the school run, putting her spaniel Willow in the boot. Her family today released these pictures to show exactly what she was wearing. For days, police have been searching for any trace of the mother of two young girls. Today was no different. What did seem very obvious was the large number of other people out too. This is the bench where Nikki's mobile phone was found a week last Friday. Today is dry, it's sunny, and the number of people out along here is extraordinary. There are dozens and dozens of people along this stretch, along the other stretches as well, all walking the riverside paths to try and assist in the search.
I mean, I know if she went missing in the same way, I would be expecting people to go looking. Do you understand what I mean? I would really want there to be a search party.
It was myself or my eldest who we both take the dogs out on our own. If it was one of us that was in that situation, I'd hope the community.
Well, we got 20 seconds. There we go.
As well, and I just feel like everybody should be doing their part.
She disappeared without trace. Police believe she accidentally fell in the river Wyre, but it's the not knowing for sure which is keeping people looking. Danny Savage, BBC News, St Michael's on Wyre.
Now, what do you mean she fell in the river? I mean, I'm looking at that bank. Now, how could somebody accidentally just fall in the river? But anyways, I don't know.
I don't know. It's a crazy story. I just like most people in the UK, when we first heard this story, it became highly unlikely at that time that she would have fallen into the river and drowned, because of many reasons, really. They say that where she fell in was a sheer drop, but it was only a meter, and the water wasn't deep. It was little over half a meter deep at that time. So if I was to fall into the water, for instance, I would hold on to the riverbank and scream until somebody came to save me.
Yeah.
But the thing though is that they said her phone was found on the park bench.
Yes, but when we go through the timeline, there is a reason for that. We can't understand why the phone was left on the bench and then all of a sudden she was in the water. So it's the bench to the water. How did she end up in the water?
And still logged in to her meeting of the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the bit that's sketchy. So if we go through the timeline, I think you've got that, Grizzly.
Yes, I've got it right here. Bam!
Okay, bam. Okay, I'm assuming that this is all new to me because Michael normally sits in this chair. He's the technical guy. It's just me. So, okay, if we go through it from the top, yeah. So, Nicola Bulley disappeared while she was walking her dog after dropping off her children at school on the 27th of January. On the 10th, so we'll go back then. So on the 10th of January, police and health officials visited Nicola Bulley's home, address in Inskip in Lancashire, after reports of concern for welfare. No arrests are made in relation to the incident, which was a result of her issues with alcohol, but it remains under investigation, the police have said. So to me, that reads as there's obviously a family situation going on at home if the police have been called. So
now, why do they bring up alcohol? This is a red flag with me being in law enforcement. They said alcohol. Why alcohol? Why would they mention alcohol?
I don't know. I think as we go through it, there is a point where the police and the media released a statement saying that Nicola had mental health issues and she was quite a vulnerable person. I don't know where they were going with this, because it was like uproar when it came out in the UK that they should never have disclosed information like that to the general public.
And it was much later into the investigation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't at the beginning.
No. There was nobody mentioned anything about mental health or alcoholism at all until much later on into the investigation.
All right. You brought it up. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen, in action.
She vanished during a riverside dog walk. Police investigating the disappearance of Nicola Bulley have revealed the 45-year-old suffered from significant issues with alcohol brought on by her ongoing struggles with the menopause. In an earlier press conference, officers said Miss Bulley had been classed as a high-risk individual since the beginning of the search. Well, our communities editor, Darshna Soni, is in St Michael's on wire. Darshna.
The police held an extraordinary press conference today. The tone was particularly interesting. The Lancashire Force had to defend their handling of the Nicola Bulley case. They said there's been a huge amount of speculation and they wanted to address some of the rumours going around. But their press conference led to even more speculation, which meant in the last hour or so, they've had to put out a statement clarifying what they meant. Early on in this investigation, the police revealed publicly that their working hypothesis was that the 45-year-old had gone into the river. Now, that led to criticism from some that they'd been too quick to dismiss other theories about what could have happened. Today, the police revealed that partly their reason for that hypothesis. They said that Nicola Bulley had some significant vulnerabilities which led them to class her as a high-risk missing person. This is what they told the press conference.
As soon as she was reported missing, following the information that was provided to the police by her partner, Paul, and based on a number of specific...
By her partner. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Rated as high risk. That is normal in a missing person from investigation with the information we were in possession of.
Now, they wouldn't...
I forgot to advise everybody that all parties are proven innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I forgot to disclose that.
Answer any more questions at that time about the vulnerabilities, but it just led to huge amounts of rumours awash across the internet again today. So this evening they put out another statement and they've revealed some very personal, very sad details about the 45-year-old. The police say that Nicola Bulley had significant issues with alcohol brought about by her struggles with the menopause. And they say that these significant issues meant that 2 weeks before she disappeared, the police had been called round to the family home along with other health professionals.
So how unusual is it, Darshna, for the police to reveal something like this?
It's very unusual, Kathy. The whole handling of this case has been unusual, and they've come in for a lot of criticism, particularly around their communication strategy. Today, the force were very, very defensive. For example, in that press conference, they referred to TikTokers who were turning up playing detective. When one reporter asked about Nicola Bulley's dog, the SIO said very pointedly, "I don't know, I can't ask the dog any questions." None of this, of course, will be any comfort to Nicola Bulley's family and friends, some of whom have been leaving yellow flowers of hope on this bridge. When they asked about that hope today, the SOI said that some 19 days since the mother of two disappeared, she very much hopes with all her heart that Nicola Bulley may still be found alive.
Darshna, thanks very much.
Well, that was interesting. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
So here's your timeline back. And the reason I wanted to play that video, because the partner is the one that said that. And the reason why I want to play that is I want you to pay very close attention to this timeline and what happens, ladies and gentlemen, during this timeline. Now, we've seen pictures of the doorbell ring camera of her loading what they call a boot, which I had no idea what a boot was. But I guess the back of her vehicle, right, with the dog. But go ahead. You got your little thing now. Because this is crucial.
It is weird, like that's only come up because of what he said. But anyway, so on the 27th, so let's go to when she disappeared and the timeline that we've got for that. So at 8:43, after she's dropped her 2 young children off at school, she takes her dog Willow along the path of the River Wyre at 8:43. So the timings are crucial. So at 8:50, a dog walker who knows Nicola stopped and they exchanged pleasantries in the morning. Their dogs had a little play around with each other. And then she carries on her way down the footpath. At 8:53, Nicola sends an email to her boss. Okay. At 9:01, she logs into a team conference call. Now, I don't know whether you guys in America have Teams, but it's just like Zoom, really. I don't know if you have Zoom, but it's just like that for work purposes. So she logs in, ready to take the conference call at 9:01. At 9:10, a witness who knows Nicola sees her on the upper field walking her dog Willow, and this has been collaborated with the police. At 9:20, Nicola's mobile phone is linked to that area of the bench by the river. So it's obviously been tracked in that area. 9:30, the conference call that she was on with her boss ends, but Nicola stays logged in. So she doesn't end that call. At 9:33, a dog walker sees Willow running around off the leash, just throughout the field. 9:35, Nicola's mobile phone and Willow are found at the bench by another dog walker. Willow's harness and lead are found halfway between the bench and the river's edge. Okay.
All right.
At 9:50, Nicola's family and the schools attended by her children are notified of her disappearance. So she's gone. From that point, 9:35, gone. Nothing. Okay. On the 28th of January, Lancashire Police launched a major missing person operation, deploying drones, helicopters, and search dogs for that area.
Okay, now I want to interject here, being in law enforcement. Now I want everybody to remember what the reporter said and what the partner said, right? Now I want to put this into perspective, into layman's terms, and I want people to watch the path that she has taken on that morning, her faithful trip. All right, stand by in action. Well, I thought I had it. Here we go.
Her children off at school in the Lancashire village of St Michael's on Wyre and headed on foot along Blackpool Lane with her dog called Willow. Along this fairly busy road, she would have walked past the parish church before making her way over this footbridge which leads to the path by the River Wyre. Nicola began walking east along this path at around 8:43 a.m. Lancashire police say at 8:47 a.m. the mother of two bumped into another dog walker, seen here on CCTV in a red coat, on the lower field. Officers say the pair knew each other and their dogs interacted briefly before the woman, who they've now spoken to, left the field a short time later via the river path. 6 minutes later, at 8:53, Nicola used her phone to send her boss an email. And at 9:01 a.m., she joined a work Teams conference call. 9 minutes later, at 9:10, a second witness who also knows Nicola saw her, but this time on the upper field, and still with her dog Willow. The dog was off the lead and it wasn't in its harness, which officers say wasn't unusual and was all part of her daily routine. That was the last confirmed sighting of the 45-year-old. Police say they are particularly interested in what happened between then and 9:20 a.m. because they believe her phone was on this bench at 9:20. At 9:30, the work conference call ended, but Nicola's phone remained dialed in. Nicola's dog Willow was found by a witness at 9:33, running between this gate to the field and the bench where the phone was located. At the same time, Willow's harness was also discovered on the grass between the bench and the river's edge. Martin Brunt, Sky News.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me close this out because it's still talking in my ear. Did anybody mention that she was under the influence of alcohol at any time or seen inebriated or anything?
Nope.
So why in the world did somebody would bring that up in a news media conference that she's an alcoholic who had problems with alcohol? Are you trying to divert? Yeah, are you trying to divert somebody's attention to something else?
Yeah, I think they were trying to. They were going along the lines of a potential suicide attempt and stuff like that. But it's just from the information that we've got about Nicola, her family, her kids, and her dog meant the world to her, you know. And it's just, I think that's where they were going with it, because I think genuinely, I believe that they had absolutely no idea what happened to her. They had no particular leads. She just disappeared as if she'd been, I don't know, abducted by aliens. I don't know. It's just like she left without no trace. I find the whole thing, that the bit for me is the dog harness between the bench and the river's edge. That's the bit for me, because there's got to have been a reason. If Nicola did fall into the river, there's got to be a reason why she went towards the river's edge, because you can see from that news clip there that the bench is still quite away from the river's edge. Why did she go there? What was her reason? The dog wasn't wet, so it wasn't to rescue the dog or anything like that. So the dog was dry when it was found. So
and how deep is the river? An average depth is how many meters?
It's at that time it was half a meter.
So there's 3 feet in a meter, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at a foot and a half, roughly.
Yeah.
So you can basically stand up in the middle of that channel.
Yeah, you could stand.
Okay. So are you catching my drift, ladies and gentlemen? So if you accidentally fall in, you're not going to drown, okay, because you can stand up, right? And 2, if you did allegedly fall in, if you are trying to get out of that channel, or you all call it a river, I call it a creek or a stream or whatever, you're going to see something like claw marks or scratching marks or something to try to get out of it on that incline, right? I mean, does that not make logical sense?
Yeah. It's human nature to fight for survival.
Yeah.
It's instilled in us. It's you know, if you're in that situation, you don't just drown.
No, you do everything you can
do what
to
you can
save
to get
yourself.
out of it. There is
Yorkshire Paranormal, regardless, it is a terrible accident. But what is the truth? That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. Hello, FDL Paranormal. Welcome to the show.
I mean, we're not here to say whatever they've found is not true, because obviously you're innocent until proven guilty. But I think that there's so many unanswered questions. That's why this case is so still alive and still talked about even today. It's still talked about even all over social media, because there's just so many unanswered questions. Why? What happened? Why did she fall in? What was the reason why she went to the water's edge? Why was the dog's harness found halfway between the bench and the river's edge? Why?
Whether you can or cannot stand in that river, sir, nobody's going to stay in that river. They're going to try to get out. They're going to go to a bank. to get out of that water. And there's going to be evidence, trace evidence of somebody trying to escape from that water. I fell in of rivers. I fell into creeks. I fell into riverbanks. And yes, I have shoe marks, claw marks, hand marks getting back out. So, and there's only one reason you're not going to have that. If you're into that bang, it's either you're unconscious or somebody bonked you on the head or they did something else where you're unresponsive. That's my point. And let's go on with your timeline.
Okay, I forgot where I was now. Okay, so on the 29th of January, local people gathered in the village hall to set off on their own search for Nicola. So this wasn't just a police investigation, this was a community investigation.
Right.
They wanted to know what had happened to her. So her partner, Paul, having spent all day searching for Nicola, said it is just a perpetual hell. That's what he quoted. On the 30th of January, the police officers, why you
scroll down?
I can't scroll.
Okay.
How do I scroll? Come in then. Come and scroll me, Mick. You can do something useful.
I can't.
He's naked.
He's naked again. He's always naked.
Yes.
It's so hot in here. Okay.
Click the Word document.
I am.
At the bottom. The Word document at the bottom. Word document at the bottom. Where it says Word in between the two Google Chromes. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Click that. Then scroll.
Okay. Oh, thank you. See, I told you he was the technical guy. I'm not. I'm just in front of the camera and talk. That's fine with me. Okay, so where was I? On the 30th of January, Superintendent Sally Riley from Lancashire Constabulary says officers are keeping an open mind as to Nicola's whereabouts, but that is likely she has gone missing rather than having been the victim of a crime. At that point, how can they make that assumption? It's mind-boggling. So on the 31st of January, police announced they are speaking to a potential key witness about Nicola's disappearance. Detectives say that the witness is a man in his 70s who was in the area of the village of St Michael's on the Wire when Nicola Bully was last seen. On the 1st of February, Nicola's parents, Ernest and Dot, tell the Daily Mirror, which is a local newspaper here in the UK, they fear that somebody got her as the disappearance enters the 6th day. They fear that somebody had got her. At a press conference on the 3rd of February, Superintendent Riley says, our main working hypothesis is that Nicola had sadly fallen into the river, that there is no third party or criminal involvement, and this is not suspicious, but the tragic case of a missing person. So, on the 5th of February, a woman described as a key witness by police comes forward as the force warns against total unacceptable speculation and abuse on social media. So this was the point when it just kind of just blew up and other social media platforms just went crazy out of control. On the 7th of February, police urged the public not to take the law into their own hands and warn amateur detectives not to abuse witnesses or attempt to break into empty or derelict buildings alongside the River Wire. On the 8th of February, a specialist underwater search team looking for Nicola pulled out of the operation and say they believe categorically that she is not in that section of the river where detectives believe she fell in. This is a specialist diver, you know. On the 15th of February, police tell media that Bully was vulnerable and graded as a high-risk missing person the day she disappeared, owing to some significant issues with alcohol. In a press conference, Lancashire Constabulary says Nicola had individual vulnerabilities that put her in the high-risk category, meaning that she was at risk of coming to serious harm. On the 17th of February, Dame Vera Baird, a barrister for former Labour minister, condemns the force's dreadful decision to divulge medical information about Nicola and says it was the biggest error that I have seen in quite some time. On the 18th of February, So Peter Fry, a former Chief Constable of Greater Manchester, says criticisms of the Lancashire investigation has been overblown and the flurry of public interest meant officers were like very highly skilled surgeons asked to operate with a huge public gallery. On the 19th of February, Nicola's body was found after a tip-off by members of the public. Okay. I don't know. It's crazy. So I would like at this point, if it's okay, to show you a video clip of
into the disappearance of Nicola Bulley has begun, and it's reported she entered the water alive. Pathologist Dr. Alison Armour told the court Ms. Bulley was alive when she entered the water because it is an active process to swallow and inhale water into the lungs, and that her opinion on her cause of death was drowning. She added, the watery fluid identified within the stomach and also in the lungs themselves are classical features as we see in cases of drowning. The coroner asked if there was any evidence of third-party involvement, to which she replied, there was not. Nicola Bulley vanished without a trace in January 2023 after dropping her children off at school, and was found 3 weeks later in the River Wire. The inquest is expected to last 2 days. Stay with us for all the latest.
crazy.
It is. Now, I also have this as well. Stand by. If I can bring it up right.
I'm going to say, yeah, no, my whole focus is on 2 girls. Just staying as strong as I can for them. I'm scared that if I put any focus into anything else, it's going to take my, focus off that. So I've got to be very careful. Just hoping to goodness that anything comes out from the interview yesterday, no matter how tiny. Just say a massive thank you to the community, friends, for everything.
That's strange.
Is it buffing?
Yeah, give it a second, and if not, I'll kill the feed. It shouldn't be. I know a lot of people's watching it.
That they're doing is absolutely incredible. I just can't believe that we're a week on, and as yet, it seems like we're no further on. It just seems absolutely impossible. Just like a dream. I cannot get my head around any of it.
I mean, you're left sort of trying to make sense of the census, aren't you? It is just such a mystery.
Yeah, it is. There's just no every single scenario comes to a brick wall. Every single one of them, and then all we're doing is sitting there going round and round and round, going through every scenario, and then go back to the first scenario again and do the whole thing again, and it's just all day long. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing.
How are you coping? It must be so difficult. Like you say, your focus is on the girls, and it has to be. But
yeah,
it must be so difficult.
I don't know how I'm coping. I don't even want to actually think about that. Just focus. Just like I say, it's just about the girls. That's it. I'm there for them. I don't want to really elaborate on that. I don't want to take my eye off that.
It must be heartwarming to see the public response. Hundreds of people trying to help.
It's amazing. It is right now. It's the only thing that we can take is, that level of support is out of this world. It gives us a great amount of comfort knowing that that's going on. We don't have anything else, do we?
Well, there's hope.
We're never.
I don't think anything's funny.
But right now, it is as though she has vanished into thin air. Just insane.
Yeah, I don't think anything's funny.
No.
Part 2. Stand by. Let me rewind this one a little bit.
Right. Good to see you again, Emma. We keep calling her Nicola. You knew her as Nikki, of course.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, I'm interested in your thoughts after that update from police yesterday. When you heard what the police had to say, what went through your mind?
Let's just take you back to yesterday. So yesterday was a 7-day milestone. It was a roller coaster in itself. You wake up, oh, still no news. Okay, we'd already planned the 7 days, a big media publicity. We were out there with the banners. So then to hear just in the afternoon that had driven awareness, influx of calls, that hope was ignited. I couldn't tell you the feeling like something's got to come of all this information. We then get the news bulletin and it comes up with this hypothesis, then that sinking feeling again. And I just wanted to quote, so what we're saying is, what struck a chord, she said the search continues to no avail, and then obviously a hypothesis is unlimited information. And when we're talking about a life, we can't base it on a hypothesis. Surely we need this factual evidence. And like you've just both said, that's what the family and us are all holding on to, that we're actually no further on than sadly last Friday. We still have no evidence, and that's why we're out again in force.
Yeah, I can sense frustration in your voice. Do you feel frustrated?
It's not frustrated, but you don't base life on a hypothesis, do you? You absolutely can have hypotheses, but then you need something to back that hypothesis up to become factual.
Do you think it might almost have been better not to have mentioned that, to have just said we don't have any new information, but we are still appealing for help, we are still appealing for, like they did, dash cam footage and the like, but actually not necessarily saying that that is now their theory?
100%, and I think we just said, we talked to the family, they obviously discussed that with the family. We didn't believe it was going to go into a live news bulletin when it is this hypothesis, so yeah.
Yeah, you're great friends with Nikki and Paul. What's Paul saying this morning? Did you have a chance to speak to him after the conference yesterday?
Yeah, as soon as we heard, we said, what's the message? And he was just like, keep going until we find something factual.
And you were here chatting to me yesterday, and you were so buoyed up and so hopeful because the police had more calls, haven't they? They had more information through. Did you get any sense of what that information might have been?
No, all I know, it was a significant influx of calls that they had to bring another 101 team in to answer the calls. So when you hear that news coming from the police, you think, oh my, there has to be a glimmer of, there has to be something coming from that today, just to give a line of inquiry to go on. So when the news bulletin came, I thought, oh, we might have found something that we don't know. And we thank everybody that did come forward. What I would say is we need to keep it to factual information. Like they could have received 100 calls on, I don't know, that's not relevant to the case.
Yeah, it needs to be genuine factual information. No, that's a good point. There's been a lot of talk about a tennis ball and that Willow loved chasing a tennis ball, and perhaps the ball rolled down this very steep bank where we're standing, ended up in the water, and Emma understandably tried to retrieve the ball. Simple as that, as you would do on a dog walk. What do you think about that theory?
Willow used to love a tennis ball very much, but it used to disturb the walk, so they haven't had a tennis ball since way into last year. Obviously, a tennis ball, she loved the tennis ball, so she should always be by you, pestering you for the ball. But it wasn't a nice walk when the dog's pestering, so the ball was definitely no ball.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. And as a dog owner, I know how annoying it can be having dogs obsessing over balls. So you don't think there would have been a ball?
No.
Okay. And finally, what is your message today to people watching this who will share your anguish, they'll share the family's anguish and their desperation that perhaps things are narrowing down now in terms of getting Nikki back? What's your message?
Again, yesterday they said they haven't explored all the avenues. We've got footage missing from Garstang Road, which is just outside of the river where you come into the gate for the walk. So we're appealing again for anybody that has the dash cam footage, any information on that. Then when we've explored that avenue, then hopefully the police can piece a bit more of the pitch together. I know people will be coming out in the force today. We've had message after message and we thank you. We've got routes set up for people to do today. We've actually overnight got, I think you've already shared it, we've got this 10-foot illuminated box that actually drove from Blackpool to Preston last night. It's going to be driving around. It's going to be prominently in St Michael's today, just to raise that awareness. And if someone can just shed a little bit of light to give us some evidence That's all we're asking.
And it's just a simple phone call.
A simple phone call, and nothing's too small. But then again, don't clog the lines with trivia.
No. And for you, you're not ruling anything out.
Not ruling anything out, no. And we have to.
So the reason why I played that video is two things. Is I wanted everybody to see the overall picture of this river channel. It's not that wide. So when they have divers and use sonar and they search for how long? For a while, didn't they?
Yeah.
3
Ages.
days.
3 days. Yeah, I think it's 3 days. Constantly
So,
using the
so this is my point, ladies and gentlemen. So with the bends of the river, imagine taking a body, say 5'7", 5'6", let's say 5'5". Let's just keep it a little below average. Say 160 pounds roughly. And let's toss that in that channel. Okay, and let's say it does sink. Now, the videos I've seen with the police out there showing how swift this current is, which I don't see it swift, but maybe it's just on the wrong day. But however, with those with turns and churns, or however you want to call it, things get stuck when it turns. Things get snagged.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. Hey, Lily, how you doing?
I do have a video of another video that will show you exactly the length that they're saying the body travelled. If you want to see that,
yeah, absolutely.
Video. Oh, I've got to remember now.
Is it the one already out, or is that the old one?
The new one.
There we go. I got it right
I'm no
here.
detective.
Here we go.
But are we really supposed to believe that this poor woman, this is where she went missing, and then she went all the way down this river, floated round that corner, round this very shallow corner here. You can see there the water's very shallow. Went around there, under the bridge, all the way along here, around this corner, around this U-bend, and up to here, around that corner, all the way down here, all the way around here, another very shallow corner there. Look how shallow the water is there. Went all the way around there, floated all the way up here, and then this is where she was found, right next to the road. Like I said, I'm no detective, but how could she float that far without being discovered?
And case in point, ladies and gentlemen. That's the point I was trying to make.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like she would have been found. There was hundreds of people walking along that riverbank from the moment she went missing. Hundreds.
Yeah, loads of people turned up straight away, didn't they?
Even people from not even from the St. Michael's.
Yeah,
People
everyone was out looking.
far to go out and look for her. You know, there's a lot of people out there who were looking for her during the period she went missing to when she was found. I just find I can't really put my suspicions out there because I don't want to put my own personal view out. But if you notice on the back end of that clip, there is a road, right by the side of the river. Also, you'll see that during that where she was found in the river, there is a section of hedgerows missing. So it's literally, if anybody wanted to sit by the riverbank, they could just park their car on the road and get out of the car and be on the riverbank. There's no hedges, there's no fencing. Just that section where she was found in the undergrowth of the river.
And
I'm not saying anything bad about that.
No.
I'm just pointing it out that
I am. I'm saying your all's police over there is full of crap. I don't think they're telling the truth. I think what they were thought in the beginning was like, well, I just think she ran off somewhere. It was like, screw this, because she's an alcoholic. She's got some mental health issues. And I don't think they took it seriously. And that's my opinion. And I said it. And something ain't right. And now we got to go backtrack.
I think they didn't take it seriously. Hence why so far into the investigation, they tried to ruin her her personality, calling her vulnerable, calling her an alcoholic. I think they tried to backtrack and cover themselves.
That's what it looks like at this part. And I hate to say it that way. But wasn't there other things that I've read and heard that you all found out as well about some other markings, some other things that you all want to talk about as well?
We do know that after the inquest report was sent out, there was significant bruising on Nicola's arm, around here and underneath.
Oh, you get that from falling into the river?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. So they found the bruising. They didn't find any kind of like wounds, etc., on her body apart from this particular bruising on her arms. I'll tell you what else is kind of interesting as well is Nicola was wearing a Fitbit watch, so it measures your steps, it measures your heart rate and stuff like that. Now, when she went into the water, the heartbeat was still going 8 days later. It was recorded on the Fitbit 8 days later. I do have a little another video if you want to see that.
Absolutely. Because that indicates to me she wasn't in the water.
So this is this one.
Hi guys, I just want to give you some further information because I've been asked it a lot in the live about Nikki's Fitbit.
Uh-oh. Wow! She just went kaboom. Come on back, girl. We ain't done with you yet. You ain't getting off that easy. But ladies and gentlemen, so see, when people commit crimes, and this is a crime, let's say if it is, you know, people that wear smartwatches, Apple Watches, right? That is the least of their concerns at this point. That's the least things on their mind.
Yeah.
It's something tracking their heart rate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this stuff is not adding up, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I wanted to take a look at this case. Sandros, I'm sorry to hear that two of your friends committed suicide in the river that runs through your town. Yes, they were both found. Yeah, I know. Right in the first bin. Wow! I just saw a naked man.
He tried to run out as quickly as possible. I don't know what happened.
I didn't see anything but a streaker.
My screen.
Lord, call me the streaker. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boy,
My screen.
I'm going to have nightmares. I'm going to have to get him a bathrobe for Christmas or his birthday.
He's got one. He just doesn't wear it.
Anyways.
It's too hot in here. So did you see that video, the Fitbit video?
No, I clicked on it and you went poof and disappeared.
Oh, okay, hold on. Whoa. Let me.
Okay, you wasn't naked. All right.
Fitbit.
All right, here we go. Action.
Hi guys, I just want to give you some further information because I've been asked it a lot in the live about Nikki's Fitbit actually showing a heart rate up to 80 days after she actually disappeared. The information we're getting is on January the 27th between 8 AM and 9:30 the Fitbit recorded 4,548 steps, and after 9:30 no further steps were recorded on the device. Sorry. The inquest into Nicola Bully's death was told how a Fitbit watch gave a heart rate output for 8 days after she drowned. The mother of two from Inskip drowned after entering cold river water, and there was no evidence anyone else was involved in her death, Preston Coroner Court to heard. Two witnesses said they heard a scream coming from the area of the River Wyre in St Michael's, where the 45-year-old was last seen on the day she disappeared. Drowning experts told the hearing entering into the cold water can cause the victim to gasp, inhale water and drown within seconds. Dr. Keith Greenhow told the first day of the inquest at Preston's County Court a possible explanation for the Fitbit's continuing providing heart rate output sporadically until the 4th February could be a result of the movement of water passing between the device and Nicola's wrist. Testing on inanimate objects provided similar results.
Hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, our technology does not measure the distance between water and in your body skin to pick up a heart rate. That is so full of baloney. I cannot believe that somebody will put that on a medical examiner's, or you all call it an inquest.
Yeah, that's what
That is low. That is low. I mean, are they portraying you all to be that damn ignorant over there that you're all going to accept that?
This is why I think it is still ongoing, because people have questions about even that, that detail there, that the motion of water constitutes a human heartbeat. It doesn't. It can't.
I challenge somebody right now with a Fitbit to put it on a log, not tightly, but loosely, and put it in that channel and put some string on it and put it out there for an hour and tell me what you get. I challenge somebody over there in UK to do that and tell me if that inquest is right or wrong. Action.
The water. Dr. Greenhalgh said he believes Nicola fell into the water between 9:18
Dr.
and 9:19.
Greenhalgh.
He told the inquest analyst of her phone, her iPhone and her Fitbit data suggest she very possibly entered the water at 9:22 on January the 27th.
So here's the deal. Does anybody know about decomposition on a body? Rigor mortis, body temperature.
Yeah, we had this discussion earlier, didn't we, Nicola?
Yeah.
Because anytime a body is in a body of water, you are going to be able to determine with creatures, unfortunately, animals gnawing on the remains. But you're going to be able to tell when a body decomposes, because over here we have farms where they leave cadavers out and let nature take over, and they have time-elapse cameras so they know when a body's, how long it's been out in the elements, how long body's been out in bodies of water. We have proven that. So we know statistically we can say how long a body has been in the body of water or been out in the woods. Anyway.
See, that's what I thought. I thought that they would, when they did the testing on Nicola, that I thought they would be able to determine how long, based on the condition of her, she was she was in the water for.
It doesn't say anywhere, does it? It doesn't give
It's
us an answer.
what they are not saying are the key words.
Yeah.
Is what we have to listen to.
Yeah. The inquest was very sketchy, I thought. Reading the report from the inquest, it was sketchy. There was a lot of if Nicola had, if Nicola did. Well, there shouldn't be any ifs at an inquest. You should know, you should know if, did she, because they're basically saying in the inquest that she died from cold water shock. So she's hit the water. They believe that happened within 30 seconds of her being in the water, the cold water.
How do they determine that?
I don't know how they determine that. Let me get to... So they explain that when a person is suddenly immersed in cold water, receptors just under the surface of the skin trigger a reflex that results in a substantial release of adrenaline. Rapid gasping of 1 to 3 breaths, followed by uncontrolled ventilation and a rapid elevation of heart rate and blood pressure, which collectively in terms means cold water shock. The water temperature on that day obviously was cold. It was January. Was
1 to 3 breaths. I'm sorry. I'd be like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna be like,
yeah.
In another 40 seconds.
Well, there was a scream heard by a witness.
Then what does that tell you?
So this is what I don't.
Something happened.
They're saying though.
They dismissed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
You didn't hear, help me.
There was definitely a scream because it was caught. It was said by a witness, but they're now saying that scream happened not in the location they believe she went in.
Yeah.
That's how they've dealt with that.
So
I'm not saying it's right and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying It's odd.
But I don't think they questioned the lady or the person who heard the scream. They didn't take that any further, did they?
No.
I don't think. No.
No. But there has been reports. We'll just say. So let me just this part of with the cold water shock. So they're saying if Nikki's head was underwater when she took her first gasp, she could have inhaled 2 liters of water, which for a person of Nikki's size would have been a lethal dose due to the water in the lungs preventing the exchange of oxygen and then damaging the lungs itself. They're saying that she would have had loss of consciousness within a maximum of 48 seconds when she hit the water.
So somebody held her underneath.
Well, yeah, same like hit the water.
That's what it sounds like to me. Somebody held her underneath the water, but they're not saying that. Is that what it sounds like to you?
It sounds like it was a quick thing.
I think I can't really say what I think, can I?
Yeah, hell yeah, you can. This is for entertainment purposes, and everybody's proven innocent and proven guilty in a court of law.
Yeah,
in America, I don't know about UK, but we know that the boyfriend, or you all call it partners over there, failed the body language test on numerous occasions with your all scientific people over there. I watched that interview 3 times today.
Mm-hmm.
So he is not allegedly telling the truth. So he is being deceptive. So about what?
I don't know. It's odd because the harness was found. I don't know whether she's been maybe attacked from behind, maybe, and then put in the water. I don't know. It's just odd that there was the 8 days after with the Fitbit's odd to me.
That tells me she's still alive.
Yeah.
So I challenge somebody, whoever's watching this show, take a Fitbit. If you want to ruin how much a Fitbit cost over in UK, you know, well, they are waterproof now, but they weren't years ago. Put it on a log, kind of loose, you know, a twig or log, you know, however big around. Put it some string, throw it in a channel like that, and tell me what you get. Because I'm going to tell you you're full of baloney. Because for mine to work, mine's got to be snug.
Yeah.
Mine cannot be loose.
Skin, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And water in between there is not going to pick up I do not think it's going to pick up a heart rate or a pulse or even resemble a pulsating heart. No.
No. I would just like to add on here, because I've highlighted it in red on my piece of paper.
Okay.
That she had zero alcohol in her bloodstream.
And how do you know that?
0. It's from the toxicology report.
And where'd that come from?
From Dr. Armour.
Oh, the one that did the autopsy?
The one that did the autopsy, yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So why did they bring it up in the beginning then?
I don't know. I think there's more to this story that meets the eye. Way more.
So we got bruises. We got the snake of the channel all the way down.
Yeah.
And the body, you know, it just to me it doesn't add up. I'm sorry. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a PhD, MD, or anything like that. You know, I'm not a forensic specialist, and by any means, you know, I'm just adding common sense to things and the stuff that I know. I mean, you can take a dummy and throw it in there, and within hours, everybody looking just like they were, they're going to find it immediately. And even though if it's sunk, they're still going to find the body because they use sonar and divers.
Yes.
Yeah, she couldn't have been that well hidden. It was a very small body of water, wasn't it?
Well, the whole investigation was centered around that river.
Yeah.
So if she had traveled that length, I mean, through that, you know, windy river, especially when you can clearly see that there's shallow beds.
Yeah.
You can see the ground. How is she getting over that? I don't get it. How is she getting over the shallow ground? And there, like I said, they said drones, helicopters. You know, how have they not picked it up?
Let me see if I can find a picture of a sonar with the body in the water, because I know what that looks like. Let's see, sonar. Because a lot of people do not. Because you can actually travel in a boat and you can actually tell what a body looks like. Here we go. And this is what, no matter what it actually, how the body actually is positioned in a body of water, this is what it's going to look similarly to. Ta-da! And of course, if there's rocks, you're going to see rocks. If there's limbs, you're going to see limbs. But if it's on its side, it's going to be on its side. If the feet's floating up, you're going to see the feet. But you can tell that's a body. Can you? Can you not?
Yeah,
definitely.
That's what sonar does, ladies and gentlemen. So when they're driving around on the boat and the divers are hanging off to the side and the person's looking at the big screen in that little rubber boat, that's what they're looking for. They're looking at the bottom. So that's what I'm saying. And that channel with sonar is going to pick up. Let me see if I can get another picture to give you another example here. It's going to pick up everything. Here's another picture of a body on the side of a channel. Present and share screen. Because the sonar will pick up from side to side. See the body? Just sitting at the bottom? See the arms floating?
yeah,
See the shadow?
yeah.
So, and I can't see the measurements down here at the bottom of the screen, but you can see the sonar view and the little buttons they have. But there should be a scale. I imagine if I go to the actual, this is police1.com. But if you go to the website, there should be a scale. Well, there is a scale at the bottom.
Yeah, it's tiny.
See, there's 4, 2. I don't know if that's in meters or in whatever, but that's the distance of it measuring. So that's probably, I was assuming 2, 4. I'd probably say it's in feet, because if you look at the length of the body, if you take the 4 and flip it, so yeah. But you can tell the body is floating up off the bottom. It's not laying on the bottom because of the shadow. But I'm just saying, sonar will be able to prove it.
The guy who did the sonar, checking on the sonar, he is really well known for doing this kind of work, and he has a really good reputation for doing it. So they had the best of the best doing that job, but they kind of made him out when Nicola was found. They kind of made him to be like a bit of a scapegoat.
Yeah.
It was, he didn't pick it up. It was, he didn't do his job properly, or I felt really sorry for him, really, because he got a lot of backlash for looking for a body in an area of water where she clearly wasn't, because she was, 5 miles downstream. But he was only told to search that particular area because they believed at the time that she wouldn't have drifted that far, because this particular body of water doesn't have a great current, despite videos. It's not open to, it does go out to the sea eventually, but you're talking a ways off. And
right.
he was basically used as to blame for not finding her quicker,
or finding her at all.
Yeah,
because I think he's been now remembered from this investigation as saying, if she is in there, I will find her.
Yes.
So he has been made a scapegoat.
I mean, he did make a statement saying he categorically believes that she was not in the water.
Yeah.
You know,
I,
and
I really don't think she was, just from what I gathered, and I could be wrong, but I don't think she was.
No, from a lot of my reading and a lot of my research, I don't believe she was. I don't think she was in the river until she was found. I think someone
put her there.
So Deborah Hatswell made a comment before the show, and she says, "I know this place. I fished it. I walked my dogs. It has ties to 200 missing males and females taken from the canal. Each case is classed as not suspicious."
Yeah.
So that tells me that there is a possibility that they know that there is something going on in this area that they do not want to acknowledge, and it's close to a roadway. And how easy it to snatch and grab somebody?
Yeah, quite a few people have vanished from that area, haven't they?
Yes.
So what does that tell you?
Well, they've got a serious problem there that they need to
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like they can't. I mean, if there is a serious problem there, they need to be actively doing something about it. You know, they can't keep hiding behind their false investigation or evidence or hypotheses that they keep claiming that they had throughout the entire investigation. It can't be done like that. The key question is how did she end up in the river? No one has given us the answer to that. She was on a conference call with her work. How did she end up, I mean, less than 1 minute later, be in the river? It doesn't make sense. Also, as well, actually, it's just come to my mind that the day before Nicola went missing, there was 2 men spotted in the area acting very suspicious by the parish church. Now, Nicola has to walk past the parish church to turn right to cross the bridge to get on the walkway, the footpath to the river. So they had been spotted there, and they'd appeared to be hiding their faces and acting really odd. Now, obviously, this is a community of people that, I mean, probably like my community, really. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody, you know, knows everybody's kids and whatever. They all play out together and stuff. So to me, because of the amount of community spirit that was in the area and the amount of influx of people that came out in search for her, people would have noticed that these 2 people didn't fit, didn't belong, looked odd, acted suspiciously. Now, nothing has been done.
No, there was no investigation into who were those people.
No.
Why were they there?
They did. I think they did actually get 700 dash cam videos. So we have dash cams in our cars. I don't know if you do in the States, but we have.
I do.
Yeah. So they basically viewed 700 dash cams, and they claim nothing suspicious on it. I mean, it could be right. I don't know. It's just odd.
So if she would have fell in there, okay, let's say she hit her head, would she have but once again decomp, you know, it still doesn't add up though, because the body would have been found. The body would have been found within an hour or 2 or less than that.
Yeah. I was under the assumption, I don't know whether, because I'm no scientist, I was under the assumption that if you drown, you float eventually.
So here's what I tell people, right? So you're in a swimming pool, and try this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a simple test. Go out into the deep end, hold on to the side of the pool, let go, exhale. What happens? You sink. Yeah. Inhale, you float. Now, when you expire in water, your body decomposes and fills up with gas. That's why your body floats.
Yeah.
So if the body would have sunk, her body would sunk, the sonar would have picked it up, the divers would have found it, but it would have still got snagged around the bends. It would not have just it would have went to the bottom and it would have got snug on something if there was, because most bottoms are not clear, right? There's debris and whatnot, and well, it's a channel, may have been, I don't know, I didn't see the sonar pictures, but the helicopters being up high, you can still see so many feet down deep, right? And sometimes bodies do not sink to the bottom, they float in the middle. Not to be graphic, ladies and gentlemen, that's why a lot of people, when they recover bodies, they use hooks and they drag them to snag the bodies. I know that sounds kind of graphic. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't make sense. And then the partner, whatever his involvement was, and wasn't, stuff's not adding up. And and then the alcoholism and the menopause, and I mean, who in the right mind? I mean, that's most of every woman in the world that age going through that. Who does not have a drink or is on medicine or not going through hot flashes? Shit, I'm going through hot flashes right now.
I am as well. But the thing is,
so I mean,
just after Christmas, so everybody's used to having a drink at Christmas, aren't they? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'll have a drink at Christmas. I don't drink generally as a rule, but at Christmas time I do. And sometimes I might extend that until maybe the end of January. But,
it doesn't mean you're a high-risk person.
There you go. Look at Lauren Foot. While I was living in Bermuda, there's a guy that had a boating accident, drowned, and body found him on the beach, and it was all bloated.
Oh.
So, and that's what I'm saying. It's just, that's how things happen. Nikki, I completely understand the hot flashes thing. I know, I'm having one right now. It's like, woo-wee!
I know. Lauren, I was nervous, but now I'm just like, I'm melting.
But it's just, things do not add up. I don't know if it was just a poorly put together investigation. I don't know if it was just like, but why would you come forward and say all these bad things about your partner and then laugh during an interview? That took me away, because I don't think it was a laughing matter at all.
No.
I think from the beginning, a lot of people thought he was suspicious, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, he failed the test more than once.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but anytime there's somebody missing, who they always go looking at first.
Yeah, that's
so.
Right. Finger was directly on him straight
away. And I hate to say it, but it's statistically proven it is the truth. And I'm not saying it is, but they have to rule out all possibilities. But I'm just saying that what you all have and what has been proven, it's not adding up. There's a lot of things that are the Fitbit thing, and that's a bunch of baloney in my book.
Yeah. It's just too many unanswered questions still, even now, still.
Yeah.
That's why people can't let it go, I think.
Yeah, from the very beginning until now, people still want to know the whys, the hows, and we all thought that the inquest would sort of help us with that. But I think it's just made us ask more, hasn't it?
I think it was I don't know if I can say. Maybe I should.
And if I was her partner and I found out she had bruises, I'd be kicking that. I'd be arrested. I want answers why she had bruises.
Yeah.
What caused the bruises?
If she fell, so say for instance, okay, if she fell into the water and she did bump her head, surely the bump on her head would have been found.
Yes, it would have.
That nothing else was disclosed.
Just the 2 thumb-sized bruises, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That shows me somebody grabbed her. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Then it links me to then go, maybe somebody grabbed her. The dog harness was found between the bench and the water's edge. Maybe the harness was involved in something. I don't know. But I don't understand how she's ended up in the water.
Well, at this stage, this is what we're going to find out. We're going to take that picture and we're going to send it to in front of the board of panels and people with abilities and let them see what they come up with. And we're going to find out and see what's going to happen on the next show, and see what we get. It's going to be interesting.
It will
Yeah.
be.
And I'm gonna tell them bar holds none. What they get, let it roar. So we're not going to have it no filter on this one as well. So I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense. You know, from what I've seen from the political, from the police interviews and reports from them coming out to the media and speaking, it just doesn't add up.
No,
it just doesn't.
No, I think that's why we came to you with it, really, because I mean, thousands of people go missing all the time, but this particular one, I can't get it out of my head. You know, it's like, I want to make sure that what the inquest has said is the truth, you know, so that she can rest.
Yeah.
You know, not be, I don't know.
No, I get you.
I want the truth.
Yeah.
And if anybody's got a Fitbit, you know, loosen it up a little bit and put your arm underneath your faucet in the bathtub and see if it picks up your heart rate, or if it or even detects a heart rate.
Yeah.
I want to know that too.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to know, because then it brings to question then, well, if you're out walking on a windy day, is that increasing your heart rate? You know, is that decreasing your heart rate? Because if it's open to elements, it's not giving you a true reading.
I'm surprised Fitbit didn't make an announcement on that one.
I know.
I believe they did. I do think there was a statement from Fitbit.
Oh, I love to see that one.
Have you got that, Nick?
I think I did see it.
Because I would be having a lawsuit.
Yeah. It's just.
Well, your all's laws are different over there, though.
It's hard, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, the police and the whole investigation, it could be as they've said it is, but there's things that don't add up. It's not straightforward.
I think it might have been a TikTok video.
And another thing too is let's say your all's law enforcement do know the truth, but they don't want to cause mass hysteria, and that's why they're only saying a little as possible and not making sense.
Yeah.
Because they know I can see them behind closed doors. You know, what do we do, Scotty? Tell me. Well, how do we handle this one now? Now it's really getting out of control.
Yeah.
You know, now we got a body. So, and now everybody's up in an uproar over it.
Sorry, I do have a response about the Fitbit.
Okay.
Should I read it?
Yeah.
Read it, share it, however you want.
DC Keith Greenhull told the first day of the inquest at Preston's County Hall a possible explanation for Nicola's Fitbit continuing to provide heart rate output sporadically until the 4th of February could be a result of the movement of water passing between the device and Nicola's wrist. Testing on inanimate objects provided similar results when there was movement in the water. So I think they tested it on other things to see if it reacted the same.
Who tested it? Fitbit or the inquest people?
The inquest people, by the sound.
I think, just DC Keith.
Yeah, so it would be a professional of some description.
I want to see the video on that. I want to see the actual documentation. I don't want to see the verbiage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think it's possible. Now if it is possible, then show me the video. Because if it is possible, they would have been like, ta-da! Watch this video, ladies and gentlemen. It is feasible and it could happen. Watch this. Hit play.
Yeah.
Play it. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, because
they'd have no reason.
We can say anything.
No.
Right. Because if I would have done a scientific test to prove that something actually allegedly did happen, I would have video evidence showing that this is how we performed the test. and here's our results, and that I would play it for the public. Yeah, thank you, Sandra. Nah, just try it yourself. Can't believe it either. Thank you. You know, and I'm not trying to look. I'm prior law enforcement. I'm not trying to give anybody a black eye. I'm just saying I don't believe Jack at this point. If you perform tests on something, you're going to document it. You're going to video it. You're going to document it. You're going to show how you done it, on what animate object you used, size, dimension, whatever it is. I mean, you're going to have everything documented, because Fitbit's going to be like, the hell with you, you bopo don't know. And they're going to go back and they're going to recreate the same thing to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
That's what they do in a court of law. They had the right to rebuttal that evidence to prove you that your scientific guru poof magic, what you did was inaccurate. So they have a chance to prove themselves right and what they did is wrong. And that's how things work in a court of law or in lawsuits and civil lawsuits and so forth. But I don't know anything. I'm just a crazy hillbilly that's in the cryptid world and does paranormal stuff. So what do y'all think out there in La La Land? Am I right? Do y'all think along the same lines? Are we crazy? Are we just making this stuff up? Or we just want to believe that there's more to the story than what there's not? Just Derek don't think so. Derek thinks it's just a terrible accident. That's it. Well, I think there's more to it than what it leads up to. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion on the case. It's, you know, it's been broadly spoken about. So everybody's going to have their own opinion on it. It could have been an accident.
But to have that many people in UK upset tells me there's a whole lot more that people are not speaking of, or people are not telling the truth about, or letting loose about. Now, if we step back and look at, go ahead.
I was going to say, also, if we are wrong and it was just a terrible accident, there are still questions to why a lot of the information wasn't released. I know, you know, we don't have to know, it's not our business, but a lot of the information wasn't released, was it?
No.
If you know what I mean.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ignorant. We screwed up. We didn't find the body. We overlooked it for how long? It was our mistake.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Okay. It was our mistake. We just didn't see it. Really? And everybody walking up and down the channel as well. And then they're telling everybody, get back, stay away, quit being Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Now that was very, very strange. Now, two things I can say the reason why they probably said that, right, is number one is that if there was any trace evidence anywhere around that area, it's gone. You know, it's been trampled, it's been contaminated. I can understand that. But when you have that many people that are upset because you're like, you know what, y'all not doing your all's job, we're gonna come out and do it for you. That's what it sounded like to me. It said, the hell with you guys. We want answers, and we're going to get answers. Yeah. Because evidently you all know by living there, and so does this girl that's well known in BBC and UK as well. There's more to this story than a lot of people don't know about. Yeah. And that's what's got me curious when I signed on. So, and I wish she wasn't, she's in bed right now, I know, but I wish she was able to speak. So, because she knows a lot. So, I'm very curious about that. And crazy witch grizzly, but I'm also crazy. We're all crazy. You know, what the hell? Tammy, that's terrible. It is terrible. Everything's terrible. All thing we want to know, ladies and gentlemen, is what happened in the truth. You know, if people in doing investigations, they make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, it happens. You know, investigators drop the balls. It happens. You know, but not to find a body within 3 weeks and turn around and say a Fitbit is picking up heartbeats. You know, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I've had Fitbits. I had numerous Fitbits, and I have swim with Fitbits. I have take showers Fitbits. I have Apple Watches for years. I'm pretty well technically savvy with some of this stuff, and I know how they operate. I'm not saying I'm a scientist or anything. I'm not saying I'm the sharpest crown in the box, but there's just a lot of things that just don't add up. You know, if you want to get your pen and paper out and do some math, I'm just saying it's not there. But we're going to find out. I think as soon as we get off the show, the picture of Nicole is going to be sent to the board, and the information will start to flow. And next Friday, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have each and every one that's going to participate on the panel and will come forward and give their side of their testimony of what they found and how they got the information. It's going to be interesting. What do y'all think is going to come out of it?
Hopefully the truth. I think we might hear some stuff that we don't actually know yet, you know, what we haven't seen. Just the truth.
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Have they did a, I can't say it on the air, but it's RA and it ends with the E kit to see if there's any sexual activity done?
Nothing was mentioned there.
No, they did. They did do that. They did do that. Yes. Nothing was out of the ordinary found.
No trauma or anything down in that area at all?
No, but I will double check that and I will let you know. I will 100% check that. But yeah, there wasn't anything found on her body apart from the bruise on her arm.
Yeah.
And the tox screen came back clean, you say?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a slight trace of paracetamol. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. That was all. I mean, it was very brief. To be fair, the inquest report was brief.
And you'd think it would be much more longer, much more information.
Considering the enormity of the case.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 weeks of her being gone, it was all everybody could talk about. And it become, you know, almost obsessive for certain people.
Yeah, a lot of people. It took over their lives, didn't it?
Yeah.
You couldn't go on social media without seeing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl was found in a river. There was a lot of bodies that show up. Has there been a lot of bodies that showed up in that river before? I didn't see that.
No, I don't think so. Let me just.
I think there was one man.
Nicole Bully was her name from UK. Nicola Bully.
Let me just.
Yeah, Tammy, I can't wait either. The board has been driving me bonkers. They're like, when are we going to get the information? I'm like, you got to wait. We got to do the show first.
Yeah, you see, like when you type in bodies on the River Wye, it just comes up Nicola Bully the whole time.
I believe I remember in the beginning,
Stephanie.
Somebody else came out and said that their a male relative was missing, but no one paid attention to it.
Yeah.
From around that area, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's happened.
So Stephanie, I understand what you're saying, right? So one of the things with the inquiry or the inquisition, medical examiner report or ME, however y'all call it differently over there, is that I want to know how the water got into the lungs, right? Because of the way that it read about the 1 to 3 breaths indicates to me that I'm not a forensic investigator. Okay. I'm not a PhD, MD or anything like that, or a forensic scientist, investigator, but it sounds like somebody if I had to picture this, somebody grabbed her out of the car, ran her down to the hill, drowned her ass, and took off and hightailed it out. So, and that's when they found the body shortly after. I could be wrong.
It's just so sad, really. It's just a sad story.
So, if her body was in the water for 3 weeks, the Fitbit would stop working for the battery would have been drained. I wasn't going to say that because the Fitbit only lasts 5 to 7 days without being charged. Oh, booyah! I just dropped the mic. There we go.
I didn't even think about the battery, actually.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that till the next show, but yeah. But Laura done got me on that one. That's why I had to drop the mic.
Lauren
So, yeah. My heart does go out to the 2 girls. Absolutely. The only thing that I question more is that the partner, I don't know why y'all call it partners, the spouse, the boyfriend, whatever, he's awful quiet. And I didn't like the way he laughed. That giggle, that laugh, it was very sinister to me. And I'm very well adversed with body language and micro expressions. That's one of my favorite things I've learned over the years. And the way I watched his interviews with people that interviewed him on some of his television shows and news shows, and they all had these professional people in UK were like picking his body language apart, was spot on. And everybody's innocent to prove guilty in court of law, but once again, you got to have evidence to charge somebody. But your all's laws are different over there, so I don't know the laws. But there's more to it than that. Now, was she married before?
Yes, she was, and I do believe he was a high-powered businessman.
And what was he in business for?
Media, TV.
I think he worked on a show, didn't he? A popular show over here in the UK.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, yeah, an actor on one of our famous soaps.
Really? Sounds like more she was taken to a second location for days and the body was brought. Well, that's why I was asking about the. I got to be careful how I say it because we're on one platform. We can't say certain key words. That's why I was asking about the kit for trauma kits for women. If everybody catches my kit or catches my drift, where I was leading up to see if anything was done. Just to make sure, because torn tissue damage and other stuff, because somebody is just not picking up for no reason and taken to a remote location for a period of time. Because to me, and this goes back to the Fitbit, it alleges that she was alive for a period of days. Go ahead.
Lauren's comment.
That Lauren's got abilities. So
okay, let me. Can I say? Do you think that there has been a shed that was investigated, quite local to where they claimed she fell in?
So yeah, Lauren does have ability.
Okay.
So. Yeah, Sandro. In Belgium and Sicily, no, they do not come floating. My dad grew up in Buffalo, New York, and he was around the mob. And usually, if they did find the body, it was not in the arrangements that you want to find the body. So, but my heart does go out to the daughters and to the daughters' families and so forth.
Yeah.
I don't know about the spouse at this point. Maybe a little bit. I don't know where he stands if he is involved or not. So I don't feel comfortable with him, and that's just my opinion. And there's reasons why. If you go back and look at some of the interviews he's done and the way that the UK specialists, investigators actually picked about his body language, Basically, body language and micro expressions is like a polygraph test without using the machines. It's your body will not lie. Your body does things to give red flags when you are being deceitful. And I don't want to go too much into it because of bad people watching the show. I don't want to give them hints how to beat the system. So yeah, either PA guilty or something to do with caravan park. What's that?
Yeah, I've read a lot about the caravan park. I just didn't know if we were going to talk about it.
What is it?
It's just a local caravan park next to where she went missing.
Yeah.
But the police did search it, didn't they?
They did, but that's where like the CCTV comes into the question. Like they were saying that CCTV was broken, but then the people of the caravan park came out and said, well, actually, no, it wasn't broken. And apparently PA is related to people in the caravan park. So I think that's a whole nother spin on it, but
yeah.
See, now that would be my question. Hey, if it was broken, how long was it broken? When did it start not malfunction or not working right? When did it go down? Because that would indicate that it was premeditated. Somebody disabled it or played with it or whatever. So,
well,
we're just throwing stuff that, like, now let me ask y'all something. Now, you all probably don't know this. And this is something that people used to do in America back in the old days. Y'all cook spaghetti, right?
Yeah.
You know when it's done? Yeah. You know when it's done?
Yeah.
How do you know when it's done?
Pick it out and throw it on the thing.
Oh my God, she just did it to me. I didn't think she would. Yes. And what happens when you throw it out and it hits the wall? That is correct. I didn't think they were gonna get it. I thought I had one on them. I thought I had one on the Brits, but I didn't. But
we're all cooking in the kitchen. There's just spaghetti flying everywhere.
Yeah,
that's funny as heck. Well, that backfired on Grizzly, didn't it, ladies and gentlemen? But all the timeline with Penny is all wrong. I heard from Oliver Penny's garden CCTV was working with Ron's name, Roger, not Ron.
Yeah, that's what I was reading earlier.
Yeah. It's also weird as well, I mentioned the CCTV, that when Nicola actually went, well, they say she went into the river, that's a dead spot for CCTV.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lauren, Fitbit also has a GPS on it. It depends on which make and model. That does matter now because there are different levels. The history is usually saved in the account of the owner. I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe it's been years since I looked at a Fitbit.
Well, when Nicola first went missing, I remember all over social media, there was a lot of conversation about she used her Fitbit. You could always track her runs. There was a lot of talk about her Fitbit, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did check any GPS or anything.
But that is interesting if she had GPS on that Fitbit.
Only will know will be her boyfriend or her partner. Because my thing is how come the inquest didn't, or the police didn't look at her phone and go through it?
They did go through it though, didn't they? Because she was arranging a play date.
Yeah, that text message popped up, but they didn't say anything else, did they?
No, she did arrange a play date because it nullified the theory that she was going to commit suicide. Because she was forward thinking her life.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently she was very happy. She had everything to live for, according to quotes.
That's what I'm saying. It's not adding up, ladies and gentlemen. So next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, tune in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll find out what the people at the Beldy say. And wow, it's going to be interesting. What do you think?
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for it?
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous coming on tonight, to be fair, because it is such a high profile case, and I didn't want to upset anybody because that's not my intention. I just think it'd be quite nice to get other people's kind of views and perspectives on it to see if they're the same as mine. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm excited for next Friday. I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm nervous about what I'm going to hear.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I'll do too. If you all actually have a Fitbit and y'all want to do some tests on it and send your all's videos to me, right there's the email address below, grizzlytruecrimes@gmail.com. Send it to me. I'll play them. You know, just watch your language on the videos, because certain platforms you have to watch language. Don't smoke, eat, drink, profanity, whatnot. And I'll play the videos and so forth. Because I don't think it's accurate. And at the police, whoever did these scientific tests, they would have it documented by video and recorded, because in the event that it is a crime, it did occur, they would have to present that in a court of law. So that would be evidence. So
Yeah.
I like to see how that will turn out. But there's the email. And I like the Fitbit. If somebody's working for Fitbit, I like to have some feedback from you all as well on that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I really would.
Yeah.
So absolutely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from coast to coast and around the world. We'll catch you next week. Talk to you later. Bye you all.
Bye.
Take care.
See you later.